Hey shoujo fans, welcome to episode 3 of Shoujo Sundae. This week we'll be discussing episodes 6 to 9 of Maid Sama. Let's dig in.
私の心があらモード baby I make you more than happy けどゆっくりしようね brain freeze ご注意できるかな handle me 高すぎカロリー sugar 以上甘い feeling with you next to me baby おかわりね
So, last week we left off with Misaki having fended off 2 creepy stalkers at Maid Latte after hours. Usui came to her rescue, but it seemed like he didn't really have to, because she was able to break free and defend herself in her time of need.
Yes.
So that brings us to episode 6, which was an interesting one. I'm excited to talk about episode 6. For a change, Misaki is the one being referred to as Master when 5 first-year students decide to call themselves the Aizawa Cram School. They want to learn all that they can from Misaki, whom they deeply admire. But them following her around all the time can get messy, especially with her trying to keep such a big secret from the school. Usui also managed to get enough points to challenge Misaki to a game for a chance at a photo with her at Maid Latte. And having been the first to defeat her, he gets his prize, so he got to take a photo with her. But what did he do with the photo? And that is something we learn later in the episode. So, I know, do you have any sprinkles on top you would like to add? I did not personally get to add my sprinkles on top after all the notes I made.
Yeah, so I don't have any sprinkles today either, guys. But, maybe next time.
Yeah, that's fine. Not every Sunday has sprinkles,
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go straight into Floats Your Boat, which is what we liked about the episode. I think it's really cute hearing Misaki getting referred to as Master for a change.
Yes.
Yeah, a little switch up for her. The Aizawa Cram School boys just admired her intensity, so much. They absolutely fanboy over her. I think it's endearing. For the most part, it's pretty endearing.
It's really nice, too, because we're just so used to the boys at Seika High just hating on her and hating, her rules, even though they do make sense and it is for the well-being of everyone, but we're so used to her seeing getting hate at school than seeing her receive love. It's oh, this is nice.
Yeah,
it's just weird.
Yeah, it's weird,
but it's nice.
But a good change of pace.
Yeah.
Also, as a side note, they're quintuplets, right? They're all identical and there's 5 of them.
Oh my gosh. This episode was really a promotion for Plan B because I know that's messed up, but no.
It is though.
Get away from me.
Oh my god, I'm such an introvert. So me imagining being a quintuplet, the amount of high energy that those boys had, I truly can't imagine what my quality of life would be.
I would give up. I would be one of those do you remember Octomom from a couple years back?
Yeah.
No.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh, it would be like that. No. Okay. She was the coupon lady. We would become coupon ladies and be struggling for food all the time and have to create inventive methods and the car. I mean, cars are cars, but it's definitely not going to be cool if you have 5 kids and then somebody's always going to be peeing, crapping, crying. I couldn't do it.
The longer you think about it, the more questions I have. I'm going to throw it out to the listeners because I've met twins. I've never met a triplet, let alone a quintuplet. Has anybody listening met, or are you a quintuplet? Email us. What's your life like? I need to know.
Yes.
Shoujo Sunday Podcast at gmail.com. Write us. Let us know.
Tell us about your life. Now, don't be insulted. It's just that I personally could not do it. But if your parents have done it, hats off to your parents, okay?
Yes.
Because they're the real riders here.
Yes.
But yeah, I have only met twins, so I have not met anyone who was like a triplet or higher.
Yeah, me neither. I just got so caught up thinking in like how different my life would be. I'm gonna steer it back to to float your boat. When the cram school boys want to follow Misaki to work and she gets all flustered, for the first time, our 3 goons come to her rescue, and that was actually like a really nice moment for a minute.
Yes.
When they're like sticking up for her and trying to help enforce her boundaries. I mean, it's instantly ruined when they go to follow her to work and they're like, oh, we're gonna follow too. But it was a really nice moment, I feel like.
Yes, it was sweet, but then they're also like, you know what? You can't do it because we're special and we're the only ones. And we're going to keep it that way. And I appreciate that energy.
Yeah, they've become like my favorite little side character. Anytime they pop up, it makes me so happy.
To be where we are now and like remember how they were in the first episode? Like I never thought we'd get here.
Right.
I feel
Truly.
like it's the Paul Rudd gif from Hot Ones. I never thought, wow.
Oh my god. And at Maid Latte, it's Twin Tail Day, which is just precious. I love it. It's so cute. It's like endless cute ideas over there.
Yeah, I have never really called it that. I was always calling it pigtails.
Me too.
But twin tails is actually cuter.
I know. It's like I want to like train myself to call them that from now on because it's way cuter than pigtails.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm wearing twin tails today. What? You have to watch Maid Sama. You have to listen to Shoujo Sundae to know.
You gotta be in the know.
We do twin tails over here.
I also love when Usui does get to take his photo with Misaki. They like sweetly, you know, in like that customer service way, offer him a retake. But he's like, no, it's more authentic to have the originals. Like, this is Misaki in the moment we took a photo together. This is what I want. I love that. That's so cute.
Yeah, because he just wants it to, like, represent his actual reality and not her putting on a show.
Yeah. So we see a lot of the cram school boys bugging Misaki, which I have a little more of that in my, like, I scream, you scream.
Yeah.
One thing I really liked that came out of all of that, though, was Usui always being there to provide Misaki with some serenity away from the cram school boys.
Insert Usui saving montage, okay?
Yes.
Always at the nick of time. He's just like, ooh, got you, got you. He's just there. And I appreciate that because the boys, they were kind of just doing too much, to be honest. They were just like, oh yeah, we're following you. But it's like, you don't really need to be around somebody all hours of the day like that.
Yeah.
Even the bathroom, like, no.
Oh,
no.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's ice cream, you scream.
Yeah, that's definitely more later, for sure. I feel like him being able to give her that peace shows that she's actually gotten to be really familiar and more comfortable with him since he started showing up at Maid Latte.
Yeah.
And I love that subtle development for them in that. Specifically, like, when they're in this is like a me thing because I'm the romance girl. I love when they're in the classroom and they're sitting and he's like holding her from behind. It's just like that physical depiction of like protection and like warmth. It was really cute. I really liked that.
Here for it as well. I like that.
Yeah.
You guys, imagine me looking off into the distance. Like, wow, if that could only be me. But yes,
Yes.
I like it as well.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you. I know we touched on this kind of at the beginning, but despite how annoying the cram school boys were, Misaki really did enjoy their adoration, and I don't blame her for that because we see the other boys in school give her an attitude when she tries to enforce the rules, or the others are like straight up afraid of her, like Yukimura, for example. And these cram school boys genuinely like her for who she is, and she gets to feel seen, and I love that for her, even though they could totally go about it in a better way, you know?
Yeah, I like it for her, but then at the same time, and I wonder if this like went through Yuzui's mind. Is Usui like chopped liver? Like, I mean, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not following her into the bathroom and all that other stuff. But it's just kind of like, okay, so you like them. So what do you not like about Usui? That's something I thought about.
Right. Like, I wonder if, having been, like, spending time with him and stuff, if she's unlearning her previous opinion of him, which was just that he's, like, some jerk at Seika. She's, like, another boy she has to deal with who makes other girls cry. And maybe that's kind of what she's been dealing with.
And, like, her hatred of men.
Yeah.
I feel like by him being around her so much, she's been able to actually consider the boy's point of view a lot more. And I think that's definitely due to all the stuff that he was doing. So it's sort of like him witnessing his own impact. So that was one of the things that I was thinking about. Just like,
Yeah.
okay.
Our three idiots. They saved up enough points to challenge Misaki to a game for a chance at a photo with her. And Shiro, the blonde, plays her at a game of speed. And it's just, everything is just so beautifully intense and over the top. And I loved every second of it. And then just Misaki absolutely obliterating him instantly because she's so desperate to not risk a photo going around this school.
Yeah.
It made me feel bad though, because like they were genuine in it. They were just fanboying and they just wanted a little commemorative photo, and she wasn't about it.
Right. Because they've been keeping her secret for so long, you would think she'd allow it. I don't think they would share it because they don't even share that she works there and they always are going to see her.
Yeah, it's like they have that respect for her secret and for her. They just want a little commemorative photo. It's kind of a shame.
Yeah.
So, getting towards the end of the episode, well, Misaki goes to the roof to think because she's just been so conflicted this whole episode about, whether or not to share her secret with the cram school boys because she was worried about her reputation.
Yeah.
Hence why she didn't want the goons to get a photo either. She's, thinking out loud, contemplating whether or not she should just tell them because it would be better for her to just let them know rather than have them find out by surprise. And she admits that it's because she's afraid of ruining their image of her, saying it's painful when you get disappointed by the person you look up to. And Usui's response, my whole heart, he said, I won't be disappointed no matter what you do. My small heart grew 5 sizes.
My heart did a little thump. I was like, oh,
yeah.
okay.
Oh my goodness gracious. I mean, and of course she's shocked by that information because Usui is usually very dry, sarcastic in like the way he talks, and he said something so genuine and she was just shocked by it for a moment. And it was so close to being a cute moment before he pulls out the photo of them and she freaks out because it's proof that he brings it to school. Although it is kind of cute that he calls it a safety charm. It's like silly and adorable.
Right. And it's like, when parents, well, not that he did it in a parent way, but how parents will sometimes keep a photo of their kids in their wallet?
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, so he cherishes it that much. So it's just always on him. I'm like, oh, that's sweet.
It is sweet.
In a way.
Yeah, like me with my cat as my lock screen. We just keep things we love close to us.
Yeah.
But of course she fights him over the photo, and it flies out of their hands and off of the roof towards who else but the cram school boys below.
Yeah.
And naturally Misaki panics. Also, a side note, super cool electric guitar kicks in here to amp up the climax of the episode. I really liked that touch.
Yeah, it's like a little change of pace. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, just ramp up the intensity. I typed so much in all caps at the end for my notes for this episode because I was freaking out a little bit. I literally put, this boy is literally about to jump off the roof to save her reputation because it means so much to her and my heart can't take it.
Okay, so it falls. Meanwhile, the cram school boys, they're just talking amongst themselves. So they haven't noted the photo at all.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my gosh, this fall, they gonna see it. Meanwhile, as if she just wasn't 2 minutes ago, like, maybe I should tell them.
Yeah.
And so first off, we get a confession. What? Okay.
I know.
Well, this is very grandiose. I mean, we sort of assumed it, but he's like, oh, I like you. Then this hoe jumps off the building.
He fully jumps off.
And he's falling
Yeah. The whole episode, I was like, where is this nonsense even going? And then they just like pull out this intense romance plot development in the last few minutes. It was like whiplash almost. I didn't expect a confession let alone in the first 10 episodes before we're even halfway through the anime.
Right.
He kisses her and she fully lets him. If she didn't want him to kiss her,
She could have stopped it.
yeah, like we've seen how good her reflexes are and how strong she is. And like she will not accept anything in her personal space that she doesn't want. Like he did it gracefully and slowly with time for her to make a choice. And she let him. And I love it so much. I love it so much. But he jumped off the whole building for the photo.
The building!
The whole building.
Is there any more to Floats Your Boat? Because that was ice cream.
I'm sorry, just a few more things. I think it's really just me going over the events because the entire bit, it spoke to my little romantic soul.
Yes.
Just the way she like screams his name and she's blushing and she like runs after him with her thoughts racing. I'm just like, this is the genre for me. This is the genre I love. I love all of this so much.
Yes.
I wish they could have had that cute moment when she meets him by the pool and she's like, oh, as expected, that he got the photo and it's just, oh, their dynamic was just so perfect. But of course, the cram school boys show up because why aren't they where Misaki is?
Right.
And I think that's it for me for Floats Your Boat. I was just gushing over the whole confession and kiss and jumping off the whole building thing.
But the end of it, she wants to just tell them or whatever.
Oh, yes.
So this one got me, my heart went like, woo! So Usui tells the brothers, he's just like, she's mine after hours. I was like, oh, okay. But they're so innocent.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, she's his bodyguard.
Yeah, they immediately are like, oh, so she's a bodyguard. That's for sure it. It could be nothing else.
I'm like, they haven't been at Seika long to think that. Because, the other boys, they would have got that.
Oh, for sure.
Got the innuendo, everything.
Yeah.
But no.
So I actually don't have that much for Ice Cream, You Scream. Do you have anything else to add for Floats Your Boat?
No, that was my last part of Floats Your Boat.
Okay.
Let's see. Ice Cream, You Scream. Well, we've already touched on it, but I was just like, the whole quintuplets thing, and I'm just like, first of all, I don't even know if I want to ever give birth. But 5 children? No. But,
Yeah.
So we already touched on that.
Yeah.
Also wondered this. I put it in Ice Cream You Scream, but it's more of a question. Does Japan not have ROTC? Because I feel like that's really what they want. I think that the cram school boys really like the discipline that Misaki gives, but it's like, okay, ROTC is like students training to go into the army. So it's just kind of like, okay, well, I would think obviously their school is poor, so I don't know if that's really a possibility for them. But seeing their level of enthusiasm, I was just like, maybe they should do that instead of following Misaki around all the time.
Right. I think it's clear that they were like a one episode plot device thing, so we're not given a lot of insight into their individual character or motivation or whatever.
Yeah.
But maybe that is something that they would benefit from, because it does seem to be what they admire the most.
Yeah, that's just what it gave me.
Mm-hmm.
But I would also say something that I sort of agreed with Misaki on was the whole photo thing, which I guess it's one thing if she's doing it with the 3 goons and then Usui, because they're in the same age group.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad that she's good at the games, because it's like, I would not like to see her taking photos with grown men.
Yeah.
While she's underage in this outfit.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's weird fantasy. No.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that she was good at the games.
Yeah.
Do you have some Ice Cream You Scream?
Yeah, I feel like the biggest one I have would be the general lack of respect for Misaki's boundaries that the cram school boys had.
Yeah.
They ambushed her at the door. They bugged her throughout the day, and she has to evade them. They wait for her outside the bathroom, and they take notes on what she eats for lunch so that they can eat the same thing the next day. That's a lot. That's way too much for me.
And I also, it's been a minute since I read the series illegally. You can buy it legally now. But I was wondering, is that the relationship that they have with their mom? Because I'm just thinking, are they trying to sort of replicate the discipline that their mom must put them through in order to deal with them. And so it's just like, oh, they respect her so much. They want to eat what she eats. Following her to the bathroom. I can only really imagine like pets and children doing that.
Right.
For like their mom.
I mean, I imagine with quintuplets of that much energy that they have to have some kind of strict home life, right? Wow.
Right.
What an astute observation. She could really be emulating their mother in a way.
Right. Yeah. So I was thinking that because I was just like, oh, it's nice that they admire her, but then maybe it's just because her personality is so similar, possibly, guys, I don't know for certain, so similar to their mom. They want that structure, or they gravitate towards that because that's what they're used to.
Yeah, the familiarity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moms should have boundaries, but some moms just don't.
Yeah. I don't like that. Maybe I'm being nitpicky, but I didn't really like that Usui, like, accused her of running away from them. Yeah, maybe she is, but she for sure should be if they're not respecting her boundaries or her personal space.
Yeah, because it's just kind of like, what does he mean by that? Because it's like, you have the whole saving her montage.
Yeah.
He's always pulling her out of the way. So it's like, you can't have it both ways. You can't be like, oh, I'm saving you, be closer to me, and then be like, oh, you're running away from me.
Yeah, exactly.
So what do you want her to do? I also, or at least something that I didn't particularly agree with, and she's allowed to work, but I feel like I don't fully understand her shame for working in a service industry, especially since she likes the job. So, I mean, I get that it's like, okay, you don't want to tell people because you don't want people in your business. But then, I mean, because they admire her so much, I didn't think that her telling those brothers would really change much about them. I feel like, if anything, they might be like, oh, well, you know, maybe I'll be a butler or something.
Right. It is kind of confusing because anybody who's found out so far about her secret has only admired her even more for it.
Yeah.
The only thing I can guess is that it's just such a dichotomy from who she is at school. So she's like the strict school president in charge, but at work she's waiting on people kind of like hand and foot, and she only wants to be seen as that strong in charge person. That's all I could think of, but like I said, it doesn't really track with the way everybody has reacted thus far from finding out her secret.
Yeah. And I guess I have just the building thing was my last thing. Do you have another thing?
Very quickly, because I feel like I also have the the building situation. The writers, bless the writers, but they did that thing again where they like for sure just wanted to make sure we knew that the conflict of this episode is that Misaki thinks if the cram schools find out she's a maid, they won't think of her as a good role model anymore. It came up so many times.
Yeah.
And I was like, girl, we get it. But, you know, I mean, I'm not like super mad about it. It was just like, I wish they would have a little more faith in the audience. I feel like I'm gonna be a broken record on that with this show.
I mean, is dead, and they just keep being bury it.
Oh my god. Yeah, but let's lay the poor thing to rest.
In this dead horse, we know, we get it.
Oh, would you like to take it from here for the next point?
Yes, for jumping off of a damn building. On my mama, I would never do that for nobody. Not over no photo, not over nothing.
No.
For a photo? And he had to go to the hospital. Please, no, I would never, okay?
No, you could be the partner of my dreams, and I am not gonna jump off. I'm not gonna jump off like a 5 foot anything for you.
No.
Like, I'll
Okay.
make my way down the stairs as fast as I can, but I am by no means jumping off of anything. I am small and fragile.
Right. Pardon my French, but fuck her reputation.
Right.
Never.
Yeah.
No, because he literally went to the hospital behind a photo. No,
Nope.
I
Nope.
just couldn't. I was over it. And she's like running down the stairs, and I'm just like, part of me, obviously the series goes on as how many other episodes and volumes, but I'm just like, oh my gosh, she's gonna look at him gone like splat, you know? Just like,
He's like full like Humpty Dumpty, like.
Yes. Thankfully, there was a pool, but I mean, he still had injuries. So it's.
Well, yeah. And which also brings me to, and again, I say, where is the nurse? Where are the adults?
Where is the faculty? Like, that would have been caught on camera. Wait, oh my gosh, we got a jumper. Call the police.
Right.
He wouldn't just go to the hospital for his injuries. He would just be up in there like, no. Where's his family?
Yeah, and like, why is Misaki attending to a student who jumped off the whole building by herself?
The building!
Like, the building! Like, no one is there to help. No one qualified is there to help with his, like, for sure broken and fractured bones. So much confusion.
He had to mess up his ribs.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, are his ribs okay?
Like, he could have messed up his spleen, his back.
Yeah.
Does he need is it a catheter? A catheter, the thing that they use so you can't...
Chiropractor. Oh, no, the catheter. I thought you were talking about back things. Sorry. I thought we were talking about back things, but yes, also. Yeah.
Yes.
We need a professional for that, yeah.
Yes, also a chiropractor.
Maybe after the fact, not while the bones are broken. That's the worst idea, but you know, for like physical therapy or something. I don't know.
Yes, physical therapy.
Like, there's a lot of adults and qualified humans that need to be involved in his healing process, and we just don't see any of that.
Oh, it was crazy. I just... the whole building.
The whole building.
It's big as hell. Like,
Maid Sama episode 6 titled The Whole Building.
The whole building.
Oh, are you ready to move on to episode 7?
Yes.
All right. Also, I wrote these summaries myself, so if they're a little, like, scattered, I did my best. So, episode 7, a soft serve summary would be, when two Seika high school boys are caught up in a fight with the local rich kids school, oh no, I said I was gonna do it right, and I'm not gonna say it right anytime I say it. Miyabigaoka Academy, there we go. The rich boys demand an apology. Misaki learns, however, that the Miyabigaoka boys insulted the Seika High guys, which sparked the fight. She doesn't want to apologize, and instead thinks they're owed an apology. Usui accepts a chess challenge from one of them in order to stop their ugly slander of Seika High School students. After losing the chess match, the rich boy brings his complaints to the Miyabigaoka student council president to do something about it. In a shocking turn of events, Tora Igarashi, their student council president, asks Misaki to transfer to their school and be on their student council there. So that brings us into Floats Your Boat. So we open the episode. I just love mentioning all of the theme days at Maid Latte. They make me really happy.
Yeah.
We open on Glasses Day at the cafe. And I mean, I guess as a personal side note, I have a thing for glasses, I think. I've noticed in myself. I think glasses are really cute. So, A+ on Glasses Day.
I feel like, for me, I wear glasses. I don't have contacts. Maybe the next time I move, maybe I'll finally get contacts for real at my big age. But I always wear glasses, and so in pictures I take them off. So it was cute seeing it. Like, oh, that day, I would be able to see if I was.
You would be able to see that one day.
Yeah.
I love that at the cafe, we can see it obviously picks up very shortly after the events of episode 6, because Misaki is distracted, thinking about the kiss she shared with Usui. I literally wrote, like, ooh, in my notes. Like, she knocks over cups she was carrying, and the 3 idiots are trying to cheer her on because she's so distracted. It's really cute.
Yes. When you actually like somebody and then you be having flashbacks, it's a fun time.
It's a fun time. Yeah. It's a shame that she seems so stressed by it, but it's usually a fun time. It's usually like, I call it like a good stress when you have a crush and it's like in that early stages of development. And it's like, it's probably going somewhere, but you're not 100% sure. But like that daydreamy phase is such a magical time, I feel like. Yeah. It's a shame that she's not embracing it more.
Yeah, yeah.
Even like Satsuki sees that she's acting off and she's like, you can talk to me anytime. And it's so sweet. So sweet. Truly one of my favorite characters. I love Satsuki.
Like the perfect sister manager type person.
Yeah, like a great older sister character for her. Usui, as usual, like shows up at the cafe, still in bandages. Just as Misaki was thinking about how bad it is that she's so distracted. She thought he was still in the hospital. And it's just like this dramatic, her trying to push him away and him being like, kind of suave and saying he wanted to see her as soon as possible. It was just nice to see more of the romance stuff touched on. I don't know. I feel like they could have been more explicit in their communication with one another, but they're high school students. I can't give them that much credit.
Right. I mean, the thing about it for me is that actually made me a little sad because, first of all, you didn't even go see him. Like, she saw him after the fact.
That's right. Why didn't I consider that?
He literally, as soon as he was discharged, went to go see her because he needed to see her.
My heart.
Because he's usually always around. And he, like, I guess maybe it looked hotter in the manga. I didn't remember this part. But, oh, you're showing off your body, your bandages. And it's just like, oh, I came to see you. Like, you know, in a different story, that would be really hot.
Yeah, it's kind of a lot.
Like, I mean, like, okay, button up your shirt. But, you know, that's really hot. But for her to just be, like, flustered and then it's like, you're pushing him. And it's just like, girl, Misaki.
Don't push the boy with injured ribs.
Like, you don't push somebody with injured ribs that jumped off of a whole building for you to get a photo. You just don't do that.
Right, like she could have brought him flowers or something,
Right.
you know? Like, I feel like that'd be truly the least she could do.
Get him some cake.
Yeah.
Her pushing him and being like so dramatic. I was just like, okay, really, girl. But anyway, so like I said, that made me a little sad.
Yeah, like I guess on a similar note, which like I feel like I should have said probably for the last one too. It's like I don't know if it really floats your boat or I scream. It just made me feel things, I guess, in a conflicted kind of way. The next day at school, while Misaki is thinking about how she was going to fix the situation with the Seika boys who wouldn't apologize, Usui like appears over her shoulder. It was like kind of caught me off guard too. I was like, ooh. And she like falls out of her chair. She's like startled by the whole thing. Like she's clearly like really grappling with these feelings she has after he kissed her. She calls feelings irrelevant and won't really talk to him, and she won't even accept his hand to stand up, and like you can tell that he's hurt by it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like seeing the tension kind of made me sad after it felt like they had made such progress in the last 7 episodes to kind of feel like them taking several steps back now.
It's like 1 step forward, 10 steps back.
Yeah. I didn't know if it was drastic enough to put that in ice cream. Definitely not like a floats your boat thing, but I wasn't quite sure where to put it in the middle.
Yeah.
Maybe we could find a middle segment. I'll try to think of a good ice cream pun. Oh, coming right out of that, the way Usui tries to undo the damage of having kissed Misaki is by kissing Yukimura. Poor Yukimura is so confused that he literally disintegrates.
He turns into ashes, like ready to be put in an urn.
That poor boy.
Just gone.
Poor baby. He's like such a sweet little cinnamon roll, and I just feel for him.
Yeah.
There is a bit of an ice cream coming out of that. I don't know if I should wait till we get to ice cream. I'll wait till we get to ice cream. I thought the kiss was very funny and like, but like maybe not the best choice for Usui, but Yukimura's reaction was just too good not to put it floats your boat.
To be honest, that was more my ice cream, you scream. But I will say for that particular scene, I did like that his friends were like, oh my gosh, is he okay?
Yeah.
Because he was turning into ashes.
Yeah, we do love a concerned group of friends. I love also when Misaki is dragging the two Seika boys over to Miyabigaoka to apologize or to put an end to the drama. I love that Usui's like, I'm gonna tag along to watch the drama unfold. Like, let me just be here for this.
Right? And unusual, like other boys, like, or at least class 2. Class 2 is just like, oh, Usui is a god. These boys were just like, why is he here?
Yeah.
Like, why is he coming? I was just like, ooh, okay. You know, nice change of pace.
Yeah.
And then they get to the school, which I also thought, you know, another, where's the faculty? Because, like, why are different people from different schools able to just walk on another school campus like that?
Oh my god, that's part of my ice cream. You scream almost word for word. When we see into Miyabigaoka, that school can only be described, in my opinion, as the Oron High School Host Club in the Stranger Things Upside Down.
Yes.
It's like super uncomfortable, but it's like surrounded by lavish furniture and flowers.
Yes, I thought of that too. Yeah.
I'm a big Oron fan, so like of course my mind went there immediately, but I just thought the similarity was really funny.
Yeah, I thought that too. Except these people are, dark spoiler alert, y'all.
Yeah.
But y'all should know that.
Oh, right. I would hope so.
I would hope that y'all know that.
I think it also goes without saying that Misaki deciding to demand an apology rather than give in to the rich kids' entitled attitudes is super cool because, you know, we learned that they were saying like really awful things to the Seika high school boys, which sparked the fight. And I love that Misaki wanted to stand with her students rather than take the easy way out and be like, well, just apologize and make it go away kind of thing.
Right. Honestly, Usui's impact again.
Yeah.
Because you remember before, like, she would not even listen to those boys, right?
Yeah.
And then when she heard the situation, she was just like, oh, so they're in the wrong. Okay, so we're all together. We're all together upset and we demand this apology. So I like that as well.
Yeah. Also great that Usui tagged along because he stepped up to that chess challenge. Amazing that it's like that there was a chess challenge at all. Like that was the deciding factor. The fact that Usui was there going in on a whim and then like played such an important role defending the high school. Like that's great that he was able to step up and of course he wins. You know?
Yeah, what is the male version of Mary Sue? Because that was definitely Usui in that moment. It's just like, oh, you play chess? Oh, okay, I guess you're a badass at chess too. And you cook. That's nice.
I don't know. It's like my gut reaction was to say Chad, but I feel like that's more of like, I've heard, isn't that like the male version of a Karen instead? Which is not at all.
Or I thought it was like more of a himbo. So it's like, look at Chad over there. Who would be a good Chad reference for this moment? I guess Kellen Lutz in Twilight as Emmett. Sort of. You know, maybe that's too big of a reach, but either way, yeah, that's what I think of. I think of Chad.
Also, another quick side note. The way Usui's like, well, because they've been referring to Seika High School students as flies, he's like, well, if I win, you have to refer to Misaki as a butterfly instead of a fly. That's so adorable and like stupid. And I love it.
Yes. And then the boys were just like, what about us?
Right. Like, can you like bring us in on this at all?
I don't want to be a butterfly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then that kid was childish because Usui like beat his ass at chess.
Oh, for sure.
It's like, go get out of here. Y'all are insects.
Yeah, he was like going off about how he placed fourth in like the national competition or something, but nope, not good enough. Not good enough to beat Usui.
Nope, not at all. And so then they get in the little bus. And I also like that, you know, Usui was kind of guarding Misaki so like nobody could actually go sit by her.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
I love when men do stuff like that. But yeah, so I like that the boys were like appreciative of her.
Yeah.
You know, standing up for her. And then I thought, you know, like it's good that like now she's gonna grow a reputation of, oh, she doesn't just hate the boys that are at Seika. She loves all of the students and she's gonna be there for all of them, even if they're like a musty, crusty boy.
Yeah. At a first glance, and I know I have to like stress that it's at a first glance when I was watching this, I liked how unexpectedly kind the Miyabi-ga-oka student council president was towards Misaki. We learned his name is Tora Igarashi, which is a lot easier to say than Miyabi-ga-oka student council president, much less of a mouthful, so I'll probably just go with his name from now on.
Yeah.
Again, like, of course, we find out that that's not the case, but I was like, oh, well, it's cool that he's being so chill about all of this at the time.
I mean, to be honest, when he was first introduced in the episode, and that kid was like, I can't believe they beat me at chess. They're insects. They're this. And then he waterboards that.
I forgot about that.
On that guy, and I was just like, you know, I mean, the guy was annoying, but I was just like, oh my gosh, you throwing drinks on people? First of all, I would fight, but,
right? Yeah, throwing hands.
First of all, I would fight because, like, you aren't gonna do that to me.
Yeah,
but yeah, when he first introduced himself, and he's just like bowing and doing all this extra stuff, and I was just like, oh, okay, that's cool. It's still weird that y'all just be walking on people's campuses.
Yeah,
but that's cool. You know, it's nice that you apologize.
Yes. I only have one thing left in my floats your boat, and that is Ladies' Day at Maid Latte.
Yes. Same.
First off, what a fun concept.
Right.
Also, I'm like certain that down the line, Misaki is going to discover her bisexuality someday.
Right. Okay. I'll put that too. It's bi.
She was so happy to be taking care of women.
Right.
She was elated to be taking care of women. And hey, welcome to the community, girl.
Right.
Like, we welcome you.
We welcome you. We welcome you to bisexuality. It is a fun time over here.
We have cookies.
We have cookies. We do not smell like those musty, crusty boys.
No.
I liked it. I was like, oh, okay. And she was confident.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of Oren at that moment. That's when I first thought of Oren. I was just,
Yeah.
yes, okay. And all of her coworkers was like, oh, Misaki is like, this is her gig.
Like, she's in her element.
Yeah. And so it was cool. And then lo and behold, Usui is just part-time chefing it up because, you know, he's always around.
Always around.
So, well, I mean, this is starting to get into ice cream, you scream territory for the rest of this episode.
Yes.
But yeah, you know, I thought it was nice that she was so confident and happy and that it just seemed to fit her. And I was here for it. I was like, yes.
Yeah, I want to see fan art with Misaki with like a bi flag or like background bi colors or something. I'm not a good enough artist, but if anybody can find any of that, send it our way because I want to see it.
Yes, and then we can we'll put it on our socials as well.
Yes, absolutely. I guess it's time to veer off into I Scream, You Scream. Do you want to kick it off?
Yes. So we already sort of touched on this. I didn't really like the fact that she pushed Uzui away when she first saw him and he was bandaged up and stuff. Because I was just like, that's really messed up to do to somebody that went out of their way, almost damn well died, and you're pushing him because you can't handle feelings at the moment. So I didn't particularly like that.
Yeah, I fully agree.
And then to move off of that, I also didn't like that Misaki suddenly became off the clock police for students.
Yeah.
Where is the fact? Not even the fact, just call the police. Because if she's working, she's off the school clock, and you mean to tell me somebody can call her and it's like, oh, she's gonna come in and help? I would quit being a school president at that very moment. Because no.
Yeah.
I didn't sign up for that. I'm just like, where is the faculty at that moment? Not that they should call the faculty, but it's better to call them than to call another student, because what exactly is she going to be able to do?
Right, like they were having a public dispute. It's for sure not on the school president to come and break it up. Call the authorities, maybe someone working in the shops they were standing in front of, like, hey, this is kind of our property. Don't fight here. Break it up.
Right.
You know, like,
right.
It for sure should not have been pinned onto Misaki to take care of it.
Yeah, so I didn't appreciate that at all. Still in that same scene, I thought it was problematic that she just assumed that Seikahai was wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, it's understandable, but come on, girl. Just because this person says it doesn't mean, they're trustworthy. You don't know them from Adam.
Yeah, have a little bit more faith. I know that she's kind of prejudiced against the boys in that way and super biased against them. But I mean, that's your school. Have a little bit more faith and hear them out before you just assume that they were in the wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like the overall plot of the episode, I feel like I comment on the writing. I'm by no means the best writer by a far stretch. I'm not, but I don't know. I feel like the overall plot of the episode was hinged on bad communication that could have easily been settled in the moment.
Yeah.
Instead, it was the Miyabigaoka students demanding an apology and then just walking away from the fight while the Seika High School boys, they just looked like they were stubborn and declining to apologize. If everyone stayed for 5 more minutes and each explained their sides, the issue would have been solved. The episode would have ended really fast, but the issue would have been solved. I guess we're dealing with high school students and high school boys in particular and their egos. So again, maybe I'm putting too much faith in their ability to communicate. It felt super jumbled and forced for the plot for me. Imagine being we'll make it a problem for you and your whole school if we don't get an apology, and then just turning around and walking away before they can reply.
Right.
It felt kind of ridiculous to me.
I think for them to just have the whole crowd around them, right?
Yeah.
And they're dogging Seikahai out, just dogging them out. Misaki already doesn't take their side or whatever, but they're dogging them out, and then they get to walk away. And then the next day, Misaki goes over to their school and is just oh, we're gonna get this apology, da-da-da. I think that should have been held publicly, because those people, they were dogging Seikahai out in front of this big crowd.
Yeah.
That same crowd was not there at either school when these things were going down. So I feel that still gave people that was in that crowd a negative impression impression of Seika High.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Because I'm just like, okay, like if you're going to embarrass them in public, like you can apologize
Right,
in public. Like somebody saying that, like, oh, you're a fly at their own school. Like, I wouldn't give a shit because you're at your school.
It becomes like public drama at that point.
Yeah.
And not school drama.
Yeah. I will say, yeah, so I didn't like the fact that he kissed Yukimura. I get that the reason that he did it, which is all a tactic, is because he knew how uncomfortable Misaki was, that she couldn't even be in the same space as him without pushing him away and like running away, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he kisses Yukimura to then even out the playing field in her head so she can feel comfortable being around him again. And I fully understand the reason why he did it. I still don't like the fact that he kissed Yukimura because obviously Yukimura did not consent to that. It wasn't the same type of kiss when he actually kissed Misaki and she had enough time to push him away.
Yeah.
I didn't like that, and I was just kind of like, okay, like, I don't know, are you gonna apologize when Misaki's not around? It felt also like a little queerbaity for me.
Yeah.
I think I'm using that right. So I still felt a little queerbaity for me because I was just kind of like, oh, well, seeing that reaction, and then you'll also see in the next episode and stuff. This is like, oh, well, you know,
Yeah.
maybe that would be cute. And actually, later on in this episode, you see like Misaki being low-key bi. This is like, oh, yes. But that's not really what's going to end up happening.
Right.
But yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I didn't really like it that much.
Yeah, it caught me so off guard. Like, I paused the episode when that happened. I was like, what? I thought it was, like, funny, like, in the moment. Of course, as far as, like, the story and, like, his development with a relationship with Misaki and stuff, for sure, not a good move on his part. What I hated the most about, like, Usui kissing Yukimura was the fact that it was literally blurred out. It was censored out as if we shouldn't see two boys kissing.
Yeah.
I mean, and this was 2010.
Yeah.
So they don't really have an excuse of it being like the time or whatever.
Right.
It made me mad. Like I was actually mad for a few minutes.
Yeah, because people be gay.
Yeah.
People be,
Yeah.
lips be touching. Why would you censor that?
I guess scooting a little bit away from that, I feel like kind of almost like an obligatory part of I Scream You Scream is like the general attitude of the Miyabi Gaoka students. I kind of wish, again, like me going on, I guess, a writer rant, I kind of wish they had just had better motivation rather than like rich kids school equals bad guys. Maybe one of the, like, this is just a suggestion. I'm not saying this is a better plot, but like maybe one of the Seika High School students' parents got into like a nasty business deal with one of their parents and there was tension. Or instead it was just like, don't look at our products through a window, you fly. Again, maybe I'm putting too much faith in people, but I'd like to think you wouldn't raise your kid to call people flies. It all just feels like a little weak to me.
Yeah, because it's just like, y'all be calling people flies, but who's going to work in your company?
Right. Fast track to ruin your reputation before you're even a legal adult.
Yeah, and then I would say so I have two last things actually for I Scream You Scream.
Okay.
So one of them being, so when Tora and the gang go to Seika High, they see Misaki and then they go and leave and they get in the limo. Why the hell are there prostitutes in this limo with underage boys? Why?
I must have been so caught up in taking notes that I missed that. I'm going to have to go back and watch that moment.
Yes.
Oh my God, what?
There are prostitutes in the limo, and they're sitting beside Tora and everything, and he's all sitting back with his, like, wine glass of water. Maybe it's vodka, but it looks like water. But these two prostitutes just sitting beside him, and I'm just like, why are there prostitutes in this limo with underage students? Okay, because no.
What is this anime sometimes?
What is it? Because I get that these people have money. And I fully understand, that in clandestine things happen when you have money and you have the attitude to do certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, they would go to jail.
Yes.
Like, no. But yeah, so I was appalled by that. And then my last point is that Usui, this is like also sort of like a running theme in relation to his character. He just takes things too far.
Yep, that's what I have too.
So like the fact that Mizaki is getting her life being like a host for ladies day at Maid Latte, and she is just happy and she likes the girls and she's comfortable. And it's just like, does she have feelings for Usui? Yes. Because she didn't push him away when he kissed her. But I didn't like him trying to like enforce heteronormative rules or whatever on Mizaki just because she was so happy entertaining the customers and stuff.
Yeah.
And he always uses his body. So it was actually, it's also same place as like when he did it with Aoi, yeah. And it's just like, I think maybe he does it because he's clearly jealous, but
that's all I can think, yeah.
I just think that you don't need to, you're a female. So what?
Right. It's evident, like, he's hurting, and he's so valid in hurting. Like, he's allowed to feel what he does because he really put it all out there and confessed and kissed her and probably thought things were going to go in one way. But that does not in any way, shape, or form allow him to be, like, straight up misogynistic towards her, saying, like, just because you enjoyed dressing up as a boy for today's theme, you're still a girl and I'm going to show you that. Like, that's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, really unsettles me in a way.
Yeah. Because it's just like, okay, if you like her so much, why would you remind her of traits in men that she doesn't like?
Yeah. And, like, she's also entirely valid in being fed up with him teasing her. Because one minute he's being this protective, really warm and peaceful presence, and in another, he's going way too far to make a point. So I'm with her on saying to him that she's fed up with him teasing. It's also, like, kind of hard to imagine 20 more episodes of unresolved tension between them. Because I truly don't, I know that they're going to end up together, but I don't remember any specifics in the anime from when I watched it in, like, 2014. So, like, it's hard to imagine how much more this tension's going to be fleshed out between them.
It takes a turn.
Oh no.
It takes a turn. I'm not going to spoil it because I do remember this much from when I read it. It takes a turn. Now for the anime, I don't know if it gets into all of this. I think it has to since there's 26 episodes. But there is a way that this keeps going. So.
Oh boy. Oh.
That's what I'll say about that.
I don't know if I'm ready, but I'm gonna truck through. A soft serve summary of episode 8. Having been given 3 days to decide, Misaki grapples with whether or not to transfer to Miyabigaoka Academy. Of course, she knows she shouldn't, but she's very distracted by the possibilities it could present. So moving into Floats Your Boat, I don't think I have too much for this one.
Yeah, I feel like I have more of Ice Cream, You Scream, to be honest.
Yeah. I guess this is sort of one of those half and halves, because I do get into, like, some positive points, but opening up, to be honest, it kind of felt like this was, like, a non-conflict episode, because we know there's no chance that Misaki would transfer from Seika, because she's so invested and improved the school so much. But I did appreciate the attempts at making us feel like there was a decision she was grappling with, between, like, Sakura narrating a future where she gets married to Tora.
Yeah.
Or the boys in the classroom saying there'd be no reason for her not to take the offer, or the VP over there bringing up Suzuna's future into the equation. I think they did the best they could with the episode concept. So I'm giving them that.
Yeah, I think I really like the fact that one, her friends could, like, you know that that's your friend if they're, like, envisioning your, like, positive future.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, you know, like, oh, maybe she'll marry him. And then Shizuku was like, oh, well, you know, like, that type of education, that's going to help her afterward and stuff. So I thought that was nice.
Yeah.
And then I also agree that seeing, like, the boys also say, like, if any other person had that option, they would choose that school. And it makes sense because it does offer her more. But I think what I really took away from it was that, first off, the school, or at least the people that deal with Misaki the most, they care. And so it's like, if she chose one way, they'd understand. But they also don't want her to choose that at the same time.
Yeah.
Which was, like, nice to see. I would say also within this episode, right? So the M school, because I'm not gonna try. So
I don't blame you. I practiced saying it so many times.
I was just like Miyabi Gaoka.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they go to her house, touching on Ice Cream Usui. I'm not going to go into my reaction. I liked that Suzuna was like ready to help her sister and like serving like tea.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was nice. I think another Suzuna part of this episode that I liked was when she made all of those different tofu cuisines.
I have that too.
I thought it was so sweet. Now, actually, I thought that was a little bit of a discrepancy as well, because in a previous episode, when Misaki brought home cakes, then Suzuna was dividing up how she would eat the cake. So she's like, oh, this is going to be breakfast cake. Then there's going to be lunch cake.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's something I'm going to eat right now. And I'm going to set something outside from her mom. Meanwhile, with this tofu, she's just like, oh, we're having a whole buffet. And it all looks like different food, but it's all tofu. And it's like, okay, girl, like maybe you could have saved some of these dishes. But I thought it was cute to once again see Suzuna like trying to pull her weight in relation to like their family dynamic.
Absolutely. It's clear she's getting like really savvy in the kitchen on a budget, and it's cute to see like she's like excited about it. You can tell that it brings her joy to be creative in this way. Yeah. Even if it's not an ideal situation.
Yeah.
I feel like this is one of those borderline things, but I appreciate Misaki. I don't know if I should be standing up for herself, but her sass towards Usui in this episode feels really warranted. Yeah. After their last interaction. Like her telling him not to hang around in the student council room if he doesn't have business there.
I appreciated it so much because I was like, you better stand up for Yukimura because obviously y'all just heard 3 minutes ago that I did not like that he did that kiss thing. Yeah. And she's like, you're making him uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. I was like, yes.
Yeah, she was about to say like Seiko would fall apart without her, but like on a second thought, she's like, well, maybe it'd be nice to be free from stalkers like you, and walks away. Yeah. Yeah, he's hurt by this, but he kind of deserved that sass after everything that he did in the last episode.
Yeah, he definitely deserved it. Yeah. I also thought it was cute to see the character development of her friends. So Sakura and Shizuku, at the beginning of the series, they didn't even talk to men. No. And on this episode, they went up to the council. They're like, listen, she's about to go and we need your help. Mm-hmm. And they like got all these people to go over to Miyabi Gaoka school. Yes. To go over there. To be like, Mizaki, you are staying with us.
Yeah, I love when you see characters come together to show their love and appreciation to another character. It just instantly warms my heart.
Yeah. And then my last floats your boat thing, because like I said, this episode was mostly ice cream, you scream for me, is I know this is wrong, but the maid uniform that Misaki ended up changing into was actually kind of fire. Okay. It was cute to me.
It absolutely was. I mean, the entire, like, everything surrounding it sucked real bad. But the costume itself, we'll give an A+.
Yes, I was just like, oh, okay, design, make it a little bit longer. And like, why don't she wear that at Maid Latte for real? Like, I was like, that's cute.
Right, I'm sure there's a theme day. They could fit that one in. Like, yeah. I think I have just a couple things more in my Floats Your Boat. One is a side thing at Maid Latte while Misaki is at Miyabi Gaoka. So she's not at Maid Latte. Yeah. Our 3 idiots. It was Shiro's birthday. Like, the poor guy. They went to Maid Latte to celebrate his birthday, but Misaki wasn't in. But it was so sweet. The other 3 maids decided to celebrate with him to make him feel better. They, like, have a whole cake prepared, but it says, like, 3 idiots on the cake. Yeah. It was, like, the perfectly timed comic relief that we all needed.
Definitely. I was just, like, I was sad. I was like, oh, like, they're such good guys. I was like, oh, okay, well, happy birthday. At least you get this free cake. Yeah. And Satsuki, like, acknowledges the fact that y'all are always around. Yeah. So that's nice.
Yeah. I will note also, moving away from our 3 guys towards the end of the episode, episode when things are real bad for Misaki.
Yeah.
I can't ignore her calling out for Usui in her time of need. Despite everything that happened between them and all the tension and the conflict and the trouble, she still feels like he is a safety net for her and he brings her that comfort. So, I don't know, I just had to put that with like a few exclamation points and a heart like in my notes.
I like that her subconscious reaches out for him.
Yes.
She may not know that, like, she has some sort of feeling towards him for real, or she might not acknowledge it, but her subconscious knows.
For sure.
So I like that as well.
Yeah. I think that's about it, because we already touched on the Seika students. It just goes to show how much they value her hard work and further validates her importance to them at the school. When it pans to them all standing outside of Miyabi-ga-oka waiting for her, I was just like, oh, this is so nice. I love those kinds of moments. But that's it for me for Floats Your Boat. If you want to go into I Scream, You Scream now.
Yes.
It's like, well, claps hands.
Yes. Well, I'm ready to go.
Hey everybody, it is Editing Giana here, just to come in with a little trigger warning for our I Scream, You Scream segment. So, the topic of rape is discussed in this I Scream, You Scream, and if that's not something you're comfortable hearing, you can skip to the 1 hour and 8 minute timestamps where we move on to the next episode, which is a quick filler episode of Maid Sama. But yeah, I just wanted to make that clear. Back to the episode.
I will never invite 5 men that I don't know into my house by myself.
No. Hell no.
What? No, that's not gonna happen. It's one thing if it's just one, but 5? Not only would that not happen, that's also not realistic. I know that they're moving the plot along. I also know that this was sort of in the manga as well, but no, I would never do that. And then aside from that, which this next point should have actually been my first one, how did they get her address?
I know. I had like so many questions. I'm like, they're pulling up at her house right now? Just super duper creepy. I didn't like any of the vibes at all.
No.
Take your big bouquet and give it to someone else, or hand each little rose out to people on the street, or put it in your Oron wannabe room. Like,
right.
Take it away from me. It is not mine. I refuse. Thank you.
It is not. I'm not keeping that in my house. I'm not letting people come up into my house like that.
Nope.
No one from Seika has even been to her house.
Not even Usui.
Usui hasn't even been to her house. So I just did not like that at all. So Yukimura being embarrassed.
Poor baby.
He was heavily blushing. And so at one point I was just like, did he like it?
I know. I was wondering that.
Did he like it? And it just made me want to like go, maybe in another life, this would be like a BL Yuri series. And it's like, oh, you thought that these leads were going together, but they actually want other people of the same sex. And I would have been here for it.
That would be an interesting turn of events.
Definitely. But why it's in my I Scream, You Scream is the fact Yukimura was like embarrassed and blushing. And it's like, Usui, you're still not going to apologize?
Yeah.
And then Misaki and Suzuna rationalizing the fact that their mom is literally overworking herself. I thought that was sad.
Yeah, for sure. Super sad. It also makes me sad that the conflict between Misaki and Usui got so bad that he stopped going to Maid Latte.
Yeah.
They showed like his empty seat. It just made me kind of sad.
It made sense though, because he went way too far.
Oh, for sure warranted, but still sad.
It was still sad though, but yeah. Then I appreciated him being a weird stalker because he heard that Misaki was going over to that school.
Yeah.
Then he ended up going as well. So I appreciated that in this specific instance.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she goes over to the school and she's pretty much going there to say no.
Yeah.
And then the one guy just spills orange juice all over her. And I'm just like, okay, like, stop creating situations where I would fight. Because why would you pour juice on top of her head?
When I first saw it, I thought it was just going to be one of those, like, again, I feel like I'm going to try not to reference Oran too much, but it reminded me of, you know, the conflict of Haruhi and Lobelia and how she ends up in one of their school uniforms and it becomes a whole thing because she sees herself in the uniform. I thought it was going to be the school uniform trope where it's like, well, all we have is this Miyabi-Oka uniform for you to do. I mean, of course, it ended up being much worse than that. But like, that's what I thought that the plot was going to with that originally.
Yeah. And then she takes her shower and then he's pressuring. So from here on out, y'all, this is going to get dark.
I'm real mad.
And it's also, I'm very irritated.
Yeah.
Because there are so many what the fuck moments. I literally have it in all caps. So she takes a shower because they pour orange juice on her. Meanwhile, my ass would have went home.
Yeah.
They pour orange juice on her. And she takes a shower. And then Tora proceeds to try to pressure her to change and was like coming up with all these fake issues as if she couldn't put on the outfit that he had set aside. But it's like, no, she's uncomfortable. Then he was trying to get in there when she wasn't even dressed.
So unsettling.
Very unsettling. And I'm just like, where is the lock and the doorknob? Because if this is a school, right?
Yeah.
This is a school. So if somebody is in the locker room and they're taking a shower or whatever, you mean to tell me that there is no lock on the door?
Disgusting.
For an underage student's bathrooms? So I did not like that. I didn't like him pressuring her. Then she goes and puts this outfit on. And while I did say I thought it was cute, how dare he just, you're going to give her this outfit. Why didn't you fall into the trope of, oh, wear our special uniform and it looks so nice? No, he had to give her that little maid outfit so that, oh, here's your photo. I know you're an actual maid in real life. I guess to add to her angst.
Yeah, very, very, very quickly going off of that, I hate the photo of Misaki in the maid uniform on his dartboard. That made me uncomfortable, but please continue.
Yes, violence. That's what I thought. Anyway, so I did not like that either. And then, guys, here's the kicker. So he's just like, come to our school, da-da-da. And she's just like, no. Actually, the only thing I came here to say was I am not going to transfer to your school. Even if they gave her sister, that's something else that they talked about at the beginning of the episode, that they would even give her sister a scholarship or something to go. She's like, no, I'm not going to go to your school. And he just opens this briefcase and he's throwing money. And I'm just like, oh, first of all, you know how many instances in this episode where I wanted to fight? You are not going to throw money on me.
No.
Sir, you are not going to do that. And then, if that wasn't enough, he tries to rape her.
Yeah, it's just so, like, the word I keep using is unsettling. It's so uncomfortable. It's so unsettling. It's just, I really didn't like the way this went, the whole end of this. It was all bad.
So they put the music and she's just like, oh, I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna do this. And it's dun, 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 dun. And then it's just like, oh, wait, he knows judo.
Yeah.
Okay. And so then they stopped playing the music. And I was like, you should have put the shit on in the first place. And so you really think, oh my gosh, this is gonna happen to her. Whereas the fact, where is anybody? Then all those people that were outside in the hallway. So I'm just like, oh, so y'all would have listened to this girl get raped?
Oh my God.
Are you kidding? And this is not to say like Seikahai wasn't shit in the beginning either, right? But the Miyabi Agoka, that school is co-ed. So many things was just going into my mind. And I was just like, I cannot believe this. But thank God, you know, she says Usui, that man pops out. He beat people's ass up in the hallway. I appreciated it.
Quite. Oh my God, yeah.
And he gets her and he like away from Tora. And I was happy about, I was just like, he went too far.
Yeah.
And this really got me. This drove me home. And I don't mean to just take over this whole thing.
Oh no, it's okay. You have a much more fleshed out version of this than I do. So, and I'm right there with you.
She said, if you want to have another conversation, you can come to Seikahai to do it.
Yeah, that was a really, really weird thing for her to say.
Usually we could have been taking photos, right? I'm going to take photos of this hallway of these guys that would have sat back and allowed this to happen. I would take photos of this guy on top of Mizaki. Then I would be like, okay, now that you're doing all this, I'm finna extort you. Since you got so much money, right? Then some of that money could go to Seika. Some of that money could go to Mizaki and help out her house and her family. I would have done that. And if they weren't going to call the police, I would have done that. Because no way am I going to let somebody get away with almost raping me. And I'm not going to get something out of that. He's either going to be in jail or I'm going to get money. Or he's going to be in jail and I get money.
Right. And it's like, Again, I feel like we need like a stupid sound effect or something. Where? I'm clapping. Where are the adults?
Where?
Where's the principal? Where's literally anybody? Teacher, staff, custodian, anybody?
The one thing I noticed, this episode is the first episode I actually saw faculty. The first and the only time is because they were in Seika and then they were in a class. And that's when you see like a male teacher at the chalkboard. They pan away from him.
I missed it.
But that was the first time I ever saw a faculty member. And I was just like, well, where is his ass?
Right.
So yeah, he gets her out of there and somehow he gets her dry cleaning. And then I guess in providing her the dry cleaning, he's also giving her the choice, right?
The uniform trope. There it is.
Right. They should have just done that. But anyway, so they show that off and it's just like, which one do you want to pick? And she picks Seika High and then everyone's just like, oh yeah, we're glad that you're here. And they're all happy and it was nice. But I cannot, anyway. So that was episode 8.
Yes. Yes, it sure was. Oh, goodness. Do you think we can gloss over episode 9 real quick? It's a filler episode.
Yeah. I feel like this could be like a cute soft serve and then a little what we like and dislike, but not long.
Yeah. They picked a really good place to put a filler episode after that madness of episode 8. So a soft serve summary of episode 9 would be that Usui narrates a fairy tale about Momotaro, who burst from a peach that was about to be cut open by an elderly couple who lived by the water. Momotaro, or in our case, Misaki, is looking for a demon who kidnapped all the women from a nearby village. On her journey to Demon Isle, she stumbles on a circus ringleader, aka Usui, and his troupe, the 3 idiots, who would join her travels. When arriving on Demon Isle, it turns out that all the girls from the village moved there of their own accord to live with Usui, because the quality of life there was so much better than the village, and this was all a dream that Misaki was having. I guess to go right into Floats Your Boat, it was a cute, creative filler episode overall. I liked it.
Yeah, I didn't think I don't have any ice cream you scream. I thought it was a good episode, and like from what I saw, I liked that the 3 goons were like side animals.
Yeah.
I thought it fit their characters.
It was perfect.
I also like that randomly Sakura and Yukimura were like married grandparents.
Yes, this is like my first thing. I was just like, when Usui introduced Sakura and Yukimura as the old couple, I immediately decided to ship them.
Yeah.
Just thinking about their dynamic together would be just like too much cuteness, and I love it so much.
It was so cute. I was just like, oh, that's a little loving like relationship. And I also thought that it's on brand that Usui was like some ringmaster.
Yes.
For circus.
Okay, when they first show him in the ringleader outfit, I have to say it gave me Tuxedo Mask vibes, just like the design and all.
Yeah, except he's a bit more active.
Yes, he looked so handsome, and I have to say, as the great bard Nicki Minaj once said, when he make it drip drip, kiss him on the lip. That's the kind of dude I was looking for.
Yes! Okay! Yes!
Yes.
Yeah.
I could not help myself.
And I also thought that it was on brand that Misaki was this great samurai person, this hero.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Total badass hero. I love that for her. And the fact that it was the 3 idiots circus troupe was just brilliant. Usui's like, yeah, they're not like doing a great job, so thinking about eating them, and he just prepares a pot right in front of them. And the way Misaki's just like, I'm gonna let this happen.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
And then seeing Seika High turn into this wasteland of musty, crappy men.
Oh my God.
That was on brand too.
Yeah, it's very funny. I have very, very few I Scream You Screams, but there is something to do with that village.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Same. Actually, if I had one, it would be that same point, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the notes I have are really just tiny little bullet points. I love when Ikuto cutely like calls them a party, and the animation style goes to an old school video game, like an RPG of them like walking around the map that. I loved that touch. I love that touch so much as like a dorky, like I love D&D and stuff like that. So calling themselves the Demon Busters Party, very, very cute. I loved it so much.
Yes, and then I also like that when they decide to go find where all the girls and stuff were, that Susanna just randomly shows up as like this dragon goddess from under the sea.
Yeah.
Or mermaid or whatever. She shows up and she's just like, hey, here's a contest.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't be in her character if there wasn't some contest she was dealing with.
Of course, absolutely.
It's just like, oh, okay, here you go. Bye.
Yeah, she just appears, does the thing, and sinks back down. It's very, I feel like it's very much like her presence in the show. She's here, she moves the plot along a little bit, and then she goes back to whatever Susan is doing. The way Misaki was looking at Usui after he saved them from Tora's attack is also a big note, that despite everything, she's still harboring feelings. And like, I know that this is just like a animated dream sequence, but I'm really into dream interpretation IRL and examining your dreams and stuff. So like, the fact that her subconscious is freely looking at him like he's like everything she wants in that moment says a lot, and she should think about it.
Yeah, and I like that this dream also reiterated that Misaki needs to pay attention to what's going on around her rather than just assuming that, oh, these girls need to be saved.
Yeah.
They want to be there. You know, she should take stock. Just be like, so what's the deal? Why are you over here? Instead of taking charge, I'm fighting evil. It's like, no, you're not.
And towards the end of the dream, like, Usui flatly asks her out, and she's just, like, blushing uncontrollably. And I love, like, Satsuki in the background of the dream is, like, she's so into it.
Yes. And she's like, oh, this moe. I was like,
Yeah.
here we go. Yes.
I mean, I wish he didn't. The way he phrases things sometimes kind of ruins it for me. And he's just like, I get turned on by you. Like, maybe not that, but the rest was cute.
Right. It was just kind of like, I guess true to character, but
Yeah.
come on, man.
Right. Like, you had to dream that up.
It's like he's always just like almost there.
So
and
close.
then it just falls.
Yeah, it just drops the ball.
Yeah.
But I think that's about it for that one. I just had, like, very minimal I scream, you scream. Not even anything heavy.
Right. Yeah. I'm glad that they gave us this episode. It was exactly what we needed after
Yeah.
episode 8.
Ooh, yeah. It was a nice breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
However, I'm going to read it as I wrote it because I think that'll say it best. I put, oh my god, a village full of guys can't take care of themselves properly since the girls disappeared because they refused to break old gender roles. Cool.
It's like, okay, there's gender roles. You can't wash your clothes, but you can't wash your dirty ass body.
I know. Jump in a goddamn river or something. Sorry, excuse my French. But like, there is running water somewhere. Like, there's a sea nearby.
Did they bathe them too?
Right. Ugh.
Oh my god.
That was probably the only thing that genuinely frustrated me. Well, no, there was one other thing that kind of sort of made me a little frustrated. Aoi makes an appearance in this episode.
Oh,
And I think they get overly sexualized for sure.
overly sexualized.
Yeah, changing behind the curtain on the boat and you see their silhouette and the position they're sleeping in, it's just, it felt wrong. Like, I wished it wasn't on my screen. And, like, me almost 30 watching that, I felt really off in that couple minutes.
Oh, now you want to kill trans people?
Wait, what? I wonder if your mic clipped out and I missed, like, the first half of your sentence there.
Oh.
I was like, what?
I was like, I said,
I was like, no, I don't.
oh,
Goodness
so
gracious.
you want to kill, they kicked them off the boat. So you want to kill trans people now?
Right, like, that's like, I don't have the mental capacity to dive into that. Like,
Because this is supposed to be a filler episode, but she reminded me, so I clocked that shit. Don't
Right.
do that.
No. And the last thing, which isn't even really like, it's kind of a non-point when Usui's joking about killing off the 3 idiots at the end, that made me really sad because I love them so much.
Yeah.
Poor babies.
I mean, they're just so cute.
I know. Protect.
They just try. Like, Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's it for me for episode 9. I don't know about you if you have anything else to add.
No, that was it for me.
Okay, so that's all we got for episodes 6 to 9 of Maid Sama. If you want to keep up with us during the week, be sure to follow us at Shoujo Sundae across all socials. And honestly, slide into our DMs. You can email us. Like I said, are you a quintuplet? Do you know quintuplets?
Yes.
You can email us at shoujosundaypodcast@gmail.com. If you want to keep up with me personally, I'm Giana Luna. You can find me at Giana_Luna_. Giana with one N, by the way, if you were wondering. And Chika, where can we find you?
At Chika Supreme everywhere.
Don't forget to follow us wherever you listen to podcasts so that you don't miss out on the next episode. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you then.
Bye.